Madala na sana. Oh. you shouldn't do. Number one, seek advice from your friends or colleagues and watch few random videos on the internet and invest. If you really want to make profit,
Very good evening, everyone. I heartily welcome you all for Disciples India Learning Forum, where we experience the joy of learning. Request you to kindly mute your phones, possibly can sit in a place where you are not disturbed. Request to ask questions at the end of the session. Remember, a new learning is always difficult initially, but becomes a habit eventually. Today's agenda. Welcome and introduction. Journey so far of Disciples India Learning Forum. Guest speakers introduction and the session. Disciples India Learning Forum. Disciples India Group, Bangalore, is happy to present a platform purely for the joy of learning. Our objectives are to provide a platform to share and exchange ideas and experiences, to create and develop personal and professional network of learners, to enhance effective communication and leadership skills. Disciples India Learning Forum organizing committee members 2023 are Dr. A.M. Suresh, Forum Advisor, Dr. B. Rupashri Tantri, President, Mr. Shivaprasad K.M., Vice President, that's me, Mrs. Madhumati L., Secretary, Mrs. Veeraja R., Joint Secretary, Mr. Akhilesh N., Assistant Secretary, Mr. Dilip AP, Executive Member. Disciples India Learning Forum. As of now, we have completed 112 learning sessions from last 5 years. And our previous sessions of this year, that is 2023, are 103rd learning session, that is chief guest by Srimati Sadhana Pote, KAS. 104th learning session, that was on Republic Day, by Colonel Gopal Ipani Kaushik, that was on Nuclear Empowerment of India. 105th learning session, Nutrition and Lifestyle. 106th learning session on Memory Management for Peak Performance at Work and Study. 107th learning session, Psychological Insights for Holistic Well-being. 108th learning session, Importance of Accreditation and Ranking of Institutions in MEP 2020. 109th learning session, that was on election, responsibilities of voters and election overview. 110th learning session, habits of savings and investments. 111th learning session, that was on ChatGPT, its benefit and challenges. And the previous learning session was 112, that the program topic was Wellness Program 2, Sajjan Yoga Meditation. And coming to today's learning session, that is 113th learning session. So this is in association with Sri Vidya Institute of Technology. So initiated by IQAC, this is our 113th online learning session in accordance with NEP 2020. Today's topic is English language, international test orientation for abroad studies by Mr. Zulkarnain. Now I request Dr. Rupashri Tantri to welcome the guest and orient.
Thank you, sir, and good evening all. It's my privilege to introduce the guest speaker of today's session, Mr. Zulkarnain. Mr. Zulkarnain is a distinguished linguist, educator, and researcher who has dedicated his career to language teaching and assessment. Zulkarnain has emerged as an asset in the field of language testing and assessment, particularly in the context of IELTS. His expertise spans a wide range of areas, including test development, scoring, fairness, and test validation. His expertise, groundbreaking research, and dedication to promoting fair and valid language assessment have made a profound impact on the field. As a main speaker of IELTS seminar, Zulkarnain enriches the event with his unparalleled insights, inspiring aspiring candidates, educators, and language enthusiasts to unlock their full potential in English language proficiency. With these details, I wholeheartedly welcome Mr. Zulkarnain, and I request him to kindly take over the session. Over to you.
Thank you,
Over to
ma'am.
you,
Please
Mr.
proceed with
Zulkar.
the
Yeah.
So I have given you the excess of admin rights.
Sure.
You can show the PPT, Mr. Zulkar.
Yeah. So first of all, I thank you for the warm welcome. So am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Zulkar.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. So I welcome everyone who have joined us today for this IELTS orientation. My name is Zulkar, as you know. So I am the part of IDP IELTS. So this presentation will last roughly for 30 minutes, where I will share you about the IDP and cover topics like IELTS and the format of the test, and the benefits of the IELTS, and how to take the test, and what are the modules and the formats, and what are the benefits of taking the test. And at the end, we will have a question and answer session. Okay. So these are the topics we are going to cover today. Test format and overview, benefits of IELTS, taking IDP, IELTS in India, and at last we will finish off the question and answer session. So before I could start the talking about the IELTS, so I would like to talk briefly about the IDP. So IDP was established in 1969. So IDP stands for International Development Program. So IDP Education Limited is an international education organization offering student placement in majority of the countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and so on. So IDP has more than 190 offices in 35 countries. So IDP IELTS is a subsidiary of IDP Education. So where we are the co-partners of IELTS, and we conduct the English proficiency test. So moving on, so I'm sure that the participants who are here are well knowledge about the IELTS. At least they know about the test which is required to go for abroad, right? So can somebody tell the abbreviation, the full form of the IELTS? If I request anyone to tell about IELTS full form. Okay, I will do it for you. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is an English proficiency test which is taken by an individual who intend to study or to work or for migration in the place where English is used as a common mode of communication, right? So this test is accepted globally. No, this test is accepted globally over 10,000 organizations worldwide. And also it is accepted by many of the governments, Australia, you take Canada, you take New Zealand, you count on. And also it is accepted by many of the employers and universities, and including the USA as well. So you can see here the major of few key destination for IELTS. So however, IELTS is accepted globally. So in few of the major destinations are Australia, Canada, UK, United States, as well as the New Zealand. And also the good thing is in US, even the Ivy League universities started accepting IELTS. So that is a great thing. So Ivy League, I am sure that you are having a little idea about the Ivy League. So Ivy League universities are MIT, University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, Harvard, Yale. So these are the few universities comes under the Ivy League universities, right? So moving on. So these are the few, what is that, that makes this test unique? It's so because of the acceptance of this test globally. So this test is unique. So these are the few, institutions and universities and employers will accept IELTS. So moving on to the crux of the presentation. So let us look into the test formats and about the IELTS as well. So IELTS is designed by the 4 parameters, that is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We call these parameters as skills as well. See, skills is nothing but when you start practicing, that is called as a skill, right? So this test is designed based on that. See, basically the idea of the IELTS test is when a person goes to a particular place, he should be able to listen what they speak, and he should be able to understand what this, he should be able to write, and he should be able to speak. So this is that's a basic idea of having the test. Example, I tell you, suppose if I am staying in Karnataka, I'm staying in Bangalore, so my mother tongue would be Kannada. Suppose if I go to the next neighboring state, right? If I'm going to the neighboring state, per se Andhra Pradesh or Kerala. So if I go there, it's very difficult because first thing I don't know the Malayalam, right? Malayalam is the mother tongue there, and that is a language where people use commonly, right? So it is very difficult for me to understand that. I'm just making you to understand like why this IELTS test is required. So when I go to Kerala, any of the places in Kerala state, so it is very difficult being a Kannadiga. It's very difficult for me to understand Malayalam, right? So what happens here? So now if I try to understand, if I start learning Malayalam, it will be very easy for me to communicate with those people. The people who stay in other regions.
LSRW.
Hello? So am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I was talking about going to the other state where I don't know the language, right? So when I go there, if I start learning, then I can able to communicate clearly with the people who are staying and speaking a different language. So that's the basic idea of having the IELTS test when you go to the other countries, right? So majority of the countries speak English and they communicate English, they write English. So that is the reason many of the universities, and even if you want to go for work, even if you want to go and settle down there, or for permanent residence, or for immigration, or for any of the purpose, IELTS test is mandatory. So this test is based on the 4 skills, as I said, and there is no pass or fail in this test. So this test is, assessed in terms of band score. We call it as band score from 1 to 9. If you are getting 9 band score in all the 4 all the 4 skills, then you will be called as a expert user. So in that way, your language will be assessed. Okay. So IELTS test has 2 modules. One is academic and the other one is general training. Academic is for the candidates, for the person who wants to study abroad. And for the general training, for the person who wants to work, or for immigration, or for PR. So they can take this general training. Okay. So moving on. So you can see the test details about the test here: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So moving on, this test has two variants. IELTS test has two variants. One is computer delivered and the other one is a paper based. So you can take the test in two formats. One is the paper based and other one is a computer delivered. Suppose if you are familiar with the writing and you are good with writing and you want the results in 14 to 15 days, then you can take a paper based test, and paper based test happens generally in any of the 5-star hotels, right? So moving on to the computer delivered, if you are good in typing and you are looking for the results faster, you want the results in a couple of days, within 3 or 5 days, then you can go ahead and take a computer delivered test. And also the one of the good thing about the computer delivered is you will be have the availability of the dates every day, wherein for the paper based you will be having only 4 dates per month. And apart from that, we don't have any other differences. The content of the test is same. The delivery method is probably the delivery method is changed, but the content of the test remains same. The severity of the test remains same, right? So it is up to the candidate's choice what kind of a test he wants to take. But the integrity of the test remain same. So there is no other difference between the two variants. So let us look each and every skill little briefly so that we will have an idea what are the content are available in the test. See, generally we hear about the the test, right? When we talk to each other, when we discuss each other, generally we talk, oh, that guy's communication is good and he speaks nice, he speaks well. See, that's how we assess the opposite person's communication. But so there is a different part altogether. When you come to IELTS, when you start talking about IELTS, when you start studying about the IELTS, it's a complete different scenario. Here, if you want to judge a person's communication, if you want to judge a person's English knowledge, so it will be judged on 4 parameters. That's what I told you before. So first we will look at into the listening skill. So we, as I said, yeah, it is all these four parameters are called as skills. One more thing I would like to add here. See, this test is unique because this test is not based on only the English language. It is not based on the subject oriented. This test is not subject oriented, and no questions can be expected from any academic journals or academic portions. It is only a simple English language test. This is one of the main factor which make this test unique, right? So moving on, so let us dive into the skills part. So first one is the listening. So this test turnaround time, this test duration is 30 minutes and just 4 section and 40 questions will be there. So basically what happens here, an audio file will be played. Headphones will be given to the candidates, and audio file will be played, and you need to listen to the conversation happening. And based on that conversation, you need to write the answers in the whatever the questions we are giving, whatever the questions are available. So for that questions, you need to write the answers. First thing, basically what here the intent of this skill is, the examiner wants to know how good you are in listening, right? How good you are in listening. See, now you can ask what kind of a content you may get it. So generally you will get a content of some social situation, or about the education, or about the current situation, or any conversation between a teacher and the student, or any conversation between your ICOS means your milkman or your vegetable guy or your paper guy. So those people are called as ICOS. So that kind of conversation will be played, and you need to listen carefully, and you need to answer the questions pertaining to the content. Okay, and the audio is played only once. So that is the reason you need to practice the test. You need to practice the test. So the more you are practicing, the more you are having the edge towards the skill, right? So moving on to the next skill, that is reading. So this reading skill duration will be 60 minutes. So in this, we have 3 sections and the 40 questions. See, generally what happens when we read, right? When we read the content here, the content will be given, and you need to read the passage and you need to answer the questions pertaining to the passage. So generally when we read the passage, right? So suppose you take the example of newspaper. See, what do we do in the newspaper? We are not going to read the complete content, right? First what we will see, we see the headlines, right? First we see the headlines. Based on the headlines, we will understand the topic. So that is a basic thing what we generally do. If at all people who are, reading the uh, newspaper or habit of reading, they would understand better. So here, how what well you can do in this reading skill, how your reading skill are tested. So let us see a few parameters over here. So first thing you can see here, the skimming, scanning, and reading for detail. So you may ask, what is skimming? Skimming in the sense reading for the general gist or for the main idea. Example, when you read on content, so first thing we need to understand, first we need to read a main idea, the headlines of that. So this is a skill we often use in our language, right? This is a skill where we often use in the language. So we need to start practicing about this. That's what the examiner sees when he sees your answers. Then he will come to know that this person has has the skill of reading in skim way, right? So moving on to the scanning means generally reading to locate a specific piece of information, right? Reading to locate a specific piece of information. Example, suppose if we are talking about Bangalore is a IT hub, right? Bangalore is a IT hub. You are reading an article about Bangalore. So in that, you may see that Bangalore is a hub of IT thing. It's a IT hub. So there you will see, the Infosys is a software. It's a big software company, right? So that is the specific information. You will see that. When you read that, you will understand that, okay, this is an important thing. Basically, you're reading a important piece of information over there. Okay, that is called as scanning. Okay, moving on to the third parameter, that is reading for the detail. See, intensive, we read continuously, but generally we should read for the detail. When we read the newspaper, right, we read only for the detail, no? We don't read the whole passage, but we read for the detail. See, why I am telling you this means when you go for the reading test, so since this test is limited to 1 hour, so you should make sure that you should read the content properly and you should answer all the questions pertaining to the content and within that stipulated time. That's an idea, and that is called as the skill. See, you may suppose if you are taking 1, 2 hours or 3 years and you are giving the right answer, that doesn't solve the purpose, right? So why your skill is tested means within the stipulated time, you are reading the complete passage and you are answering. So that doesn't come at a one shot. You need to practice that. So that's the reason we call all these 4 parameters as skills. So basically it takes hardly it takes 1 month for average person who speaks English to prepare for IELTS, because it takes intense practice. You need to keep on practicing on all 4 skills. So it doesn't come at one shot. So moving on to the next skill, that is writing. See, writing, as I said, it depends on the candidate, whether he takes the paper-based or he takes the computer delivered, whether he types on the screen, depends on the person to person. So basically in this skill, what are the contents we can see? So first thing, it has 2 tasks. The duration of this task is duration of this skill is 60 minutes, and it has 2 tasks. So task 1, generally they will give you a pie chart or a bar chart or diagram with the content. You need to look, you need to see the content, you need to see the paragraph, or you need to see the figure or diagram, and you need to explain that with 150 words. Okay, and that you need to do it within 20 minutes. And coming to the task 2 part, you have to write essay with the subject what is provided from the test giver. And you can sometimes they will for general training they will give it as a letter, and essay for ESE. Probably it, yes, essay for academic and letter for general training. So you need to write, and the task 2 holds more marks because you need to write this task 2, which should be more than 250 words, and the duration for the task 2 will be 40 minutes. Imagine, okay, for this one I will tell you, suppose if suddenly, if spontaneously, if I ask any one of you to describe about the laptop what you are sitting in front of, or describe about your phone what you are having right now, how many of you can give me the proper information about your phone within 20 to 250 words, or more than 250 words, with proper grammar, with proper vocabulary, with proper connection of the sentence, within half an hour, or you can say within 40 minutes. It's difficult. However, if I ask you, any one of you, to write or talk to me about your phone in your mother tongue, it will be more easy, because we will be having the more command over our mother tongue. That kind of a skill we need to develop in terms of IELTS, right? So that, for that reason, we need to start preparing, we need to start working on it. So how does this skill come? Again, by practice, right? So how your writing test will be tested, how your writing skills will be tested. So there is something called band descriptors. I think you can Google it later. So there are few band descriptors which is open for public. So you can check that later. So these are the criterias which are used to assess your test, which are used to assess your writing test, and as well as the speaking test, which we will discuss later. So based on these 4 criterias, your writing test will be assessed. So first one is the task achievement, that holds for 25%, and next one is coherence and cohesion, and the third one is lexical resources, and fourth one is a grammatical range and accuracy. So you may ask, what are all these terms? What are all these terms? So I would say cohesion, a task achievement. First thing we'll look it for task achievement. Here, when you see when you see the topic, first thing what you should do means you should have the requirements of the task fully and appropriately satisfied. That means you should write the contents in that. You should write the response. You should write the response pertaining to the content. Fine. So when you let us go ahead for the cohesion and coherence. Coherence means connection of ideas on a large scale, while cohesion means connection at a sentence level. See, in the nutshell, you are connecting the sentence between one sentence to other sentence with a proper logic. Okay, that is the main meaning of that's a meaning of coherence and cohesion. Basically, you are connecting the sentence from one part to other part. So next one is a lexical resources. Lexical resources, I can tell it is the vocabulary ability. That means how well you how well you write it, how well you use the words, how well you use the appropriate words. So moving on, at the grammatical range and accuracy, it's the name itself will talk to you. The name itself will tell your grammar should be accurate. Your grammar should be accurate. So these are the criterias which examiner will look into the task what you have written, and based on this criteria, your writing test will be assessed. So again, as I told you earlier, this comes by practicing. See, there are various types of practicing. So we have you nowadays you get a lot of resources outside, and also when you I'm coming to the next topic, so we'll discuss later. Okay, so moving on, the last skill, speaking. It is not the least, but actually this is the most important part. Every part is important, but basically this is the one where you communicate more, right? So speaking is the one of the important part of IELTS as well. So this has duration of the test will be 13 to 14 minutes. So first thing, the examiner will be Indian. Examiner will be Indian basically. So you don't have to get nervous. And there are three parts in that. So first part, what happens in the first part means they will check your ability to talk about yourself, your likes and dislikes, and how it is important for you to answer the question why when discussing what you like or dislike. So basically they will see you how well you are communicating in the part one. Okay. So that part two, how well you are able to organize and present a short talk. So when a topic is given to you, so they will see how well you are organizing and you are talking. That's what it means. So moving on to the part third, general discussion. So general discussion means they will talk, oh, how is your, what do you like? What are your habits? The examiner will ask. So it's only about your ability to participate in two-way discussion. So you need to start start the conversation with the examiner. So that's what you will do in all these three parts. So basically the test will get finished within 11 to 15 minutes. So now again, the band descriptors, based on what based on what criteria your speaking test will be assessed. What is the examiner actually looking from you? Again, as I said, all four: fluency, coherence, 25%, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. These four criteria will be seen in you so that they will assess your speaking test. So here, when you see in the fluency and coherence. So what examiner is looking here? Examiner is looking how far you can maintain a flow of speech. Flow of speech in the sense like, are you giving any gap in talking? Are you just pausing for some time? Or you are hesitating yourself to talk? So these are the criteria the examiner will see, right? So moving on to the next criteria, that is the lexical resources. That is nothing but the range and accuracy of vocabulary, whether you can express yourself precisely or you are repeating the same word. So this is one of the important thing where the examiner will see in you while talking to the examiner on different discussion on different topic. Are you expressing with the same words repeatedly, or you are using a different words? That's what the examiner will see in you. So the next one, the grammatical range and accuracy, again it is up to like how you are talking with a proper grammar. And the last one, pronunciation. See, generally when we talk to people, we have that myth. Okay, if I'm talking like American, if I'm talking like Brits, yeah, if I'm talking like Brits, my communication is good. No, it is not. It's a myth. See, when you talk, your accent doesn't matter. Your word, how you speak matters. At the end of the day, the opposite person should understand your conversation. That's the main thing. In the nutshell, that is the idea. So it doesn't matter how you speak. It doesn't matter what accent you use. It doesn't matter. So neutral accent is preferred. Neutral accent is preferred. So it's better when you give the test, when you take the speaking test, it's better you use the neutral accent. Fine. So now moving on, what are all the benefits of taking IELTS? So after going through all this, so we all have a question, right? So what are all the benefits of taking IELTS? See, first thing, the benefit I already told you. This test is unique because this test is not a subject oriented test. It's only a basic English test. That is the first thing. Second thing, this is accepted globally, everywhere. This test is accepted globally. That is one of the biggest plus point. That is one of the biggest criteria of IELTS. And also apart from that, you have flexibility in dates, and you have very short turnaround time in the results. And also this test is valid for 2 years. After taking a test, your certificate will be valid for 2 years. Moving on. So now we have a footprints everywhere in India, pan-India. You can take a test everywhere in India, pan-India. So you can see Here in most of the states, we have our footprints from north, south, east, and west. So we are having more than 44 IDP education branches in India. That is student placement as well, and also test booking center of IELTS. And we conduct the test in 75 plus cities all over pan India. And we have head office in Gurgaon. So we have three offices in Bangalore, in Whitefield we have, in St. Mark's we have, and in JP Nagar we have. Those offices including the study abroad plus the IELTS test booking center as well. So we have a test centers as well in Mysore. I'm talking about the paper based in Mangalore. Hubli we are yet to start. And we have 4 paper-based tests as well in Bangalore, Mysore, and Mangalore. As I said, paper-based test happens in any of the 5-star hotels. Okay. So computer delivered, we have dedicated test centers in Bangalore, exclusively dedicated test centers from IDP itself. So one is in St. Mark's, other one is in Kasturba Road, and one more is in Whitefield. So now at the end, how do we take a test? See, we now understood what is IELTS and what are the contents in the test, and how your test will be assessed. What are the things you should do and you should not do, and where all it is accepted, and so and so. We understood all these basic things, right? Now the next question is how you need to book a test. First thing, to book a test, you need to have a valid passport, valid and original passport. Without that, you cannot book a test. So first thing, you need to have a original passport, and the charges of the test as of now are 16,250. Okay, it is same for paper based and also for the computer delivered. So next, you will have a IELTSIDPindia.com website, or you can contact Discipleship India institution, though they are our nodal partners. You can check with them, and you can connect to them. They will help you out in registering the test for you. Okay. So, or else, if you don't have the access, you can go to any of the IDP branch office. You can make a payment there, fill the form, and you can book a test as well. So afterwards, once you book the test, you will be given the free study material as a hard copy. Also, you will be getting a free link to practice the test. You can see here the YouTube channel we have, IELTS Essentials. You can go there and you can check there. You will get a lot of videos which are uploaded by, which are prepared by experts from IDP. And also you can access the free test as well in IELTS essential.com. So these are the few preparatory materials we offer for the candidates. So once you take the test successfully, then if you have taken the paper based, your results will be in 13 days, and computer delivered, it will be 3 to 5 working days. Your results will be announced through SMS first, and later it will be updated in your candidate portal. So where candidate can view the results, download the results, and they can send the scores to respective universities as well, right? So that's it. So best of luck if you are taking any test. Best of luck from my side. So this is about the IELTS test. So we will now it's open for question and answer. So anyone has a question, please go ahead. Hello.
Yes. Dear participants, you have any questions?
No, sir.
Hello. Zulkar, we have some questions in the chat box.
Yeah, one second.
Zulkar?
Yes.
Yes. What is IDP IELTS and how it is different from British Council?
See, we both IDP IELTS is one of the corner. See, IELTS one of the co-owner for IELTS. British Council is also one of the co-owner for IELTS. So as of now, British Council is not there in India. So only IDP is taking care of IELTS here in India. So there are three co-partners for IELTS. One is the Cambridge University and Press. Second one is the British Council, and third one is IDP. In India, only we have IDP.
Okay. I think you answered one question over here. How can I register for IELTS exam? You answered.
Yeah, they can contact you since you are our nodal partner for booking. Or we have a website, IELTSIDPindia.com. They can go there, or they can log in. They can visit the website and they can book a test, or they can go to any of the test register center we have. As I said, in St. Mark's Road we have, in Whitefield we have, in JP Nagar we have. They can walk in there. They have to fill the form, make a payment, and book a test. However, if they are booking through you, they get more benefit as well.
Okay. And what is the cost of taking IELTS exams, IELTS exams?
Yeah, it's 16,250.
16,250.
Yeah, I can tell that if they are booking through you, it is only 16,250. If they are booking on their own, so they have to shell out 16,500 because 16,400 because 150 will be the transaction charges from bank.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is one unique question which we have got. Can a person have a special accommodation for IELTS exams if he is a disability or in a medical condition?
Yes, 100% we will accommodate. I will tell you the procedure. See, first thing, before he could take a test, the candidate has to send an email to the head office saying that he has so and so issue, physical issue, suppose any issues with him, with attaching the documents pertaining to his issue, and he should attach the passport copy as well. He has to send an email to the head office, and once they approve, they will take minimum 5 to 6 working days to assess their case, and they will reply back to the candidate what kind of a concession they can give it to the candidate. Okay, suppose if the candidate is having the issue with hearing, or candidate is having the issue with speaking, or if the candidate is having the issue with the writing, so depending upon the case to case, so they will give the concession, and this concession is only for the paper based test. So once the confirmation comes from the head office, candidate has to book a test 4 weeks from the test, 4 weeks before the test date, and send an email back to the head office saying that he has booked the test. So what head office will do, they will send an email to the test conductor, and they will make an appropriate arrangement. So whole process will take 6 weeks.
How frequently are the tests conducted?
See, for paper based, we have 4 dates per month. For paper based, we have 4 dates per month in Mangalore, in Mysore, and in Bangalore. For computer delivered, we have 7 days a week. And computer delivered is there only in Bangalore, in Karnataka. We don't have in any other places. It is there only in Bangalore. And we have 3 centers: Kasturba Road, St. Mark's, and Whitefield.
Okay, before I go ahead with the question, Zulka, can you give me access for presenting? If you can stop your presentation.
Sure, I will. Shall I?
Yes, please.
Shall I stop sharing?
Yes, please.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay, participants, any other question? You can put your question in the chat box. Okay, some of the feedbacks which has come, Zulkar. Before that, feedback form is provided in the chat box in the Zoom. Kindly fill it so that we can share the e-certificates through email. We'll be sharing the Google form, feedback form. Request you to kindly fill it up. Okay, some of the feedbacks which we have received. Thank you, sir. It was a very good session. So I'm planning to take up IELTS exam. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir. Wonderful, wonderfully got to know about IELTS exams. Thank you. These are some of the feedbacks which we have got. So now moving to the next vote of thanks.
Hello.
Hello. Now I request Professor Manjushna to give the vote of thanks.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, madam, you're audible.
Okay. A very good evening to one and all present here. I, Manjusha, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, take this opportunity to thank our management and beloved Principal, Dr. M.S. Ganesha Prasad, in their absentia for their constant support and motivation. Thank you. I take this opportunity to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. Shantakumar P. Patil, for marshalling this event. Thank you, sir. I thank Disciple India Learning Forum for conducting this program. Thank you. Now, I would like to quote a sloka from Sanskrit. Na chora haryam, na cha raja haryam, na bhratrubhajyam, na cha bharakari, vyaye krite vardate eva nityam, vidya dhanam sarvadhanat pradhanam. It means it cannot be stolen by thieves, nor can it be taken away by kings. It cannot be divided among brothers. It doesn't have a weight. If spent regularly, it always keeps growing. The wealth of knowledge is the most superior wealth of all. Now, I take this opportunity to thank our extremely knowledgeable person, today's speaker, Mr. Zulkar Naik, for sharing his knowledge and enlightening on IELTS to our students about the preparations and possibilities to pursue higher education in foreign universities. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. So, thank you, Zulkar. So before we end up the session, I request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
Sure, sir.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
So thank you all. Thank you for being a part of this session. Thank you, Zulkar. And
Welcome, sir.
very much thank to Sai Vidya Institute of Technology for being the associated partner of this event. So anybody can connect it with the Disciples India Learning Forum. For membership and other details, you can write a mail to us. That is dillearningforum@gmail.com. Thank you all. Have a happy weekend.
Thank you, Shiva Prasad, sir.
Thank you, madam.